So yesterday I tried to make a video.
Hey guys, good morning. We are going to feed the horses and then get started with the day. Just gonna hang their hay nets over here, but they just love hanging under that tree. Morning, little ladybugs.
And there I was, beginning the day by letting the ladies out, prepared to film for the rest of the day. You might be familiar with the verse, "A man plans his way, but the Lord determines his steps." That's kind of how this video went today. So my 2 Mustang mares are at my house, and my other 2 horses are at the rental barn. So the next part of my routine is to head on over there, let them out, and do a few other chores.
I did get the tack room a little bit more orderly. So this is the feed room, I should say.
The next part of the morning was to work with Theodore.
Theodore, you want to train? Do you want to train, buddy?
Theodore is at the very beginning of Liberty training.
I'm gonna softly ask.
And first things first, I am fully aware that this looks way less than impressive. The idea is to hold the invitation and wait for the horse to respond with a behavior. I'd like him to take a step to move with me, but he might also offer an unexpected behavior, and if I like it, I could also mark and reward that, and then both of those I could shape into something later on. Theodore is my one horse born into the domesticated life, and I'm trying to use this to draw him out. Compared to my Mustang Raven, he is pretty reserved.
Deep. All right, so he hadn't even taken a step, but his mind was starting to move in the right direction.
Today I'm introducing the idea of moving together.
Deep. Good. And again, he wasn't quite moving with me, but we're little baby steps. Good. Deep. Good.
I'm using a bridge sound, which is similar to a clicker, to mark a desired behavior and then reward it.
Good. Deep.
Switching to the other side became a challenge again, but I just held the invitation and waited.
So he's trying to figure out now what I'm wanting. Deep. That was really good. Okay. Come on, buddy. Deep. Good. And I kind of did a little movement with my own body, and he caught on to the idea. That was good.
So yeah, this is the very beginning for him, and a great activity to do while I can't ride him.
Deep. Good. Wow, look at all the work Jager's done here. This is not an area they normally are, so he's digging up all the grasses. What you doing, Jay?
Just gonna stop at a gas station here.
After spending the morning vlogging, I realized I hadn't had coffee yet. I grabbed Vermont's good old Green Mountain coffee, and then my morning started taking a turn.
All right, guys, so you know I have enough horses right now, but I still see ads out there, and I've been seeing a lot of ads that just break my heart lately. This one just popped up into my feed with this beautiful mare. This ad is just heartbreaking. This horse looks like it's just been bounced around over and over, been to multiple auctions, and probably has a lot of underlying pain issues, and I don't know.
The sad thing is, she is clearly in no physical condition to be ridden. Not only that, every time she's passed on to a different home or goes to the auction, more information about her is lost, whether that's her training history, her medical history, or even her age. And you can almost assume things probably got really nasty for her as each person tried again to win with her. And sadly, there are many horses who have stories like this.
It's so hard to be in a position where you can't do anything. You know, I feel like the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I need to start a rescue someday. I need to get my life together and like start something, because this is just really sad. Actually, no, it's like, okay, half of me is like, that wouldn't actually do much. I feel like my passion is, I want to get to a point where it's just education and helping people, because one person can only do so much and one rescue can only do so much. But I think it's kind of building that culture. And that's kind of where my passion is. Although maybe a rescue might fit into that as well. But, oh, this is so sad. I'm like, I just want to go, like, pick her up today. That's just kind of how I feel. She's got these rubs on her nose, which, you know, she was wearing a halter for a long time and probably had some trauma there as well. So, I don't know. It's just heartbreaking. I've been seeing a ton of ads like this. I'm sure you have too. They're not hard to find, and they just make me sad. But I tried to put it aside and keep filming my vlog, because I am working really hard at building the discipline of getting a video filmed, edited, uploaded all in a weekend, because I'm trying to be better about fitting this into my life with my work schedule and everything else that I do. I wasn't feeling really inspired for this video. I had told Nathan that morning, like, I don't really feel particularly inspired for this video. I don't feel like I have a theme for it. but I'm still going to do it anyway because it's building that discipline. It's doing that rep. It's getting better. So I tried to carry on and keep filming the vlog.
All right, this is a really quick training session. So I'm just like in a hurry, so I didn't grab anything. I just have my phone here. I don't even have a tripod, so it's on my pile of gravel, propped up by an alfalfa cube. Sorry, Raven, I'm like flailing my whip here. You ready to participate? You look very ready. Similar to Theodore, Raven just started doing some Liberty work, but she's a very different horse. She's one of the BLM Mustangs that I gentled, and she does have a background with positive reinforcement. All right, don't hit the bucket. Raven is a very sensitive horse and actually pretty timid, but when she's feeling confident like you see here, she is always trying to guess the answer. So she's very smart, very intelligent, a fast learner, and she readily offers a variety of behaviors, which will be really cool as this training continues. Her level of engagement makes her a lot of fun to work with, but I could also see her becoming shut down in a different environment. She can be easily overwhelmed, so that is something that I am very careful and mindful of when working with her. This was her first time working with these buckets here on the ground and doing figure eights around them, so I was really happy with how she did. Then I went inside and this vlog took a shift.
Oh my gosh, okay, so we're gonna take a little pivot here. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. Do you ever just like walk back and forth as you're just trying to like process something that just happened? So, I just shared about, I had just seen a horse on Facebook, but then a bunch of other things just made me really, really sad. And I just felt like my heart was like really heavy. And to be honest, I just wasn't feeling this video. Here I am, it's my film day. I'm just like having a hard time getting into it. Like when your heart is heavy, it's really hard to get into something. So part of the process as I film is moving content to my laptop. That's just kind of like part of the flow of it, and that can take a while. So I was kind of starting to craft a different video, and the thumbnail was going to say, "This makes me so sad." The title was going to say, "Will I ever be able to do anything about it?" And the whole like premise of the video was just like the sadness like in the horse world, and just how there just has to be some change like on a bigger scale. And you know who the real heroes are? The real heroes are the people, if you got a horse in your backyard and you're just trying your best to do right by it, and you're just trying to learn and grow and be a better person for it, then like you are a hero for your horse. If you're dedicated to supporting your horse through its life, even past its usable days, then you're a hero. I don't know. Anyway, I was just like feeling all those things, and then I opened my email and I saw two different emails. One, somebody donated $250, and the other one was this super sweet email, which I'll read once I get myself together. But the timing of it like couldn't be more like, don't know what to say. This video may turn into be something totally different than I originally intended.
Hi Britta, thank you for promoting such powerful, meaningful messages on your channel. They've articulated the sentiments that I have felt deep down but never knew how to act on them. I'm reaching out because at my barn, we're mostly taught positive punishment that very quickly can become harsh and tainted with frustration. I've been really upset about it for a while now, and I was hoping you could give me some resources and tips to advocate against this way of training. Because my barn leaders aren't strong advocates for positive reinforcement, I feel lost on where to start. Where do we begin when we are faced with horse mistreatment? How do we inspire change? Who are good authors and trainers to learn from? Everyone is so divided on horse training that it is difficult to sift through copious amounts of varied information. I want to be armed with all the research, knowledge, and understanding that I possibly can so that things can improve, one barn or trainer at a time. I wish the best to you and your horses in 2025. Thank you for all you do. Receiving that donation and email changed the trajectory of this video. It gave purpose to what was a random vlog, and after that, everything just seemed to fall into place.
Good morning. Good morning, girls. Good morning.
The crazy thing is, as I was in those moments where I was wondering how can I make a difference, someone chose to support me and someone else reached out and shared their own heart. It really just goes to show that we are never alone.
Getting those two things definitely threw off my video. The donation was very sweet. This year I'm really wanting to really throw myself into learning. That will definitely help me on that journey. And then that email, it hit the heart of some things that I'm very passionate about. I'm on my way to work right now, so I'm kind of like patching this together, but all right, so I just got to the barn. It is so cold. It's got a bite to it. Anyway, I wanted to share a few thoughts and ideas that I had.
So how do we promote change in the horse world? How do we shift the culture? I certainly don't hold all the answers, and this is going to be an incomplete response. It would actually be a really fun workshop to do. When I think of changing the horse world, at the root of it, I think of behavior change, human behavior change. I'm actually a certified health coach, and if you don't know, that is all about behavior change. As a coach, you provide a non-judgmental, safe place to support an individual through change. Actually, during the certification process, one of the most challenging parts was getting trained out of the very normal human response to provide feedback or advice. In fact, when you do this and the individual isn't ready or doesn't want to change, pushing or even suggesting your ideas can be counterproductive, as it prompts the individual to really build their argument against change. Instead, as a coach, you become a skilled listener, exploring and listening intently to what matters to the individual. You reflect back to them what you're hearing, and because you've created a safe and non-judgmental space, they feel empowered to explore areas of ambivalence with an attitude of curiosity. It's really just a skilled conversation that respects the individual as the expert in themselves and empowers them to more deeply understand themselves and make the changes that more closely align with how they want to live. When it comes to the horse world, that is obviously a different type of conversation because it involves a third party, an animal that doesn't have its own voice. I think it's very important that we have strong leaders who are being a voice for the animals and advocating for change. I also think it's a team effort and we all have a different role to play, and as a result, we all reach different people. I think it's important to discover what your strengths are and how you can be most impactful and do so in a way that aligns with your own values. For example, I value kind treatment of horses, but I also value kind treatment of people. One powerful tool we all have is sharing our own stories and experiences, and really just normalizing the change we want to see in the horse world. Social media has really enabled us to better share our stories and our lives, and one reason I think our own stories are so effective is because they are relatable. When you start exploring something new or a different way of thinking, or make a change that promotes your horse's welfare, and you share that, people can safely watch from the outside looking in, and they're in a space where they can maybe start to visualize what their life might look like if they did those changes too, or what their relationship with their horse could be. Changing the culture, I don't think, has to come from a place of arrogance or my way's the only way, it's the best way. That can actually be a barrier for some people changing. I think it's really important to acknowledge that change can take a very long time. Even a shift in values or intellectually can take a very long time, but then there's the shift from new knowledge and being able to implement that knowledge. For example, I'd love to have my horses on 24/7 turnout, but right now I can't offer that. Someday I hope to, but it's not a possibility right now. We do the best we can with the knowledge we have, but also strive to keep learning so we can keep improving. We are all on our own journeys, and I think a little compassion and understanding towards each other can go a long way. All that being said, like I shared in my last video, this year I'm really focusing on going back to my roots. When I named this channel, it was a nod to the idea to change your horse, you have to change yourself. So I was identifying not the horse as the project, but myself as the project. I hold the keys to a better relationship with my horse, and it's my responsibility to make the changes to do that. And that's why I'm leaning into learning as much as I can, and I really hope to use my channel to promote those resources that I'm finding. You'll definitely be seeing more of that throughout the year.
All right, so I'm gonna do some grocery shopping and then I'll come back and bring them in. Just want them to be outside just a little longer. Oh my gosh, it is so cold. So one of the ways that I am saving for this seminar that I want to go to is I'm using an app called Upside. It's a cashback app, but this morning I claimed a 13% cashback at this grocery store. So I always use it when I go to the grocery store. I started in the summer and I'm already up to, I think, $250. But yeah, they had a good deal this morning, so I claimed it. Okay, I need 4-wheel drive. I have no fear. 4-wheel drive is here. I love my truck. Love it. Alright, so I'm the worst chef that ever chefed. I am not a cook. So I'm all about easy. So I'm going to share with you guys a recipe with 4 ingredients that's mostly healthy that maybe you'll have tonight. So we have chicken, broccoli, spaghetti squash, and Alfredo. Cook it, try not to burn it, and put it all together.
Chicken Alfredo with broccoli and spaghetti squash is definitely one of my favorite things to make, mostly because it only involves picking up 4 different things. Meal prep and eating in general is a pretty neglected area of my life. It is certainly not a strong suit for me. So I have to buy these groceries anyway, but I was really happy that this trip I earned nearly $12 back. And so Upside has been a little education fund for me. Like I said, I'm saving up to go to a seminar right now. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but if you're interested, I'll put a referral code in the description box below.
All right, we're gonna grab the boys, but I think I'm gonna try doing a little, like maybe a 5-minute session with Theodore.
Hey, boys.
Jacob usually comes trotting in. He had to be cool for the camera though. Just kidding. No, he spooked at the horse trailer. It has been pretty cold as of late, so right now I'm really only doing 5 or 10 minute training sessions. And I'll use this little paddock space right in front of the barn because there's lights and it's just easy and convenient to use. But first I clean out Theodore's hoofs and then we'll get to work. So again, Theodore is just starting out here. Every now and then he'll reach out and touch my hand, but not a big deal, but we're still working on establishing that personal space.
Good.
Now once again, I know this doesn't look very impressive, but I am really pleased to see how Theodore is doing. Compared to my last video, to the beginning of this video, to now, he's already responding a whole lot faster than he was. This will all be refined and we'll continue to add more space between us, but I don't want to set the criteria too high at the very beginning. You can't train everything at once, and I just want him to start feeling more confidence as he feels successful. So I'm really looking to reward his try and encourage his effort, and I'm already really happy to see him becoming more and more engaged in the process. I think I said this in my last video, but I am most excited to see Theodore's progress in Liberty training in 2025. I'm really curious to see how our relationship changes. I'm hoping he'll feel more and more emboldened, and I think we're just going to see a really fun side of him. How cute is he? Oh my goodness. So this is a tricky part right here. In the back left corner leads to the pasture where Jaeger is, so there's an opportunity for Theodore to leave. Essentially, there's a magnetic pull in that direction, so I use it towards my advantage when I invite Theodore in here. It's something that I just try to be mindful of. Here, I asked Theodore to join me and walk with me, but he went the opposite direction, which is okay. I just held the request and waited to see what happened. He eventually changed directions on his own, and I marked and rewarded that behavior. I again invited him to walk with me, but he decided to go the other way. And this is what I love about this training. Here, I'm just really kind of experimenting with the idea of maybe not moving my feet so much and making it kind of awkward. Maybe a little bit like the awkward silence in a conversation. And eventually he decided to change directions and be in sync with me, and it was less awkward. I really love this training because it throws away the perfectionism and instead embraces attitudes of curiosity and exploration. The horse is allowed to make mistakes or bring ideas to the table and feels empowered in this training. A positive learning environment is really important for horses, but this is also true for humans, and I think this is important when we consider making change in the horse world. Changing the culture starts with us as individuals and begins with a small thought or step in a different direction. It's a never-ending journey of increasing our knowledge and understanding of the horse. I just think that we can be a little kinder to each other as we're all on our own journey, and probably most of us didn't start from a place that we're proud of. These are just a few of my incomplete and rather unpolished thoughts, but I'm curious to hear, how do you think we can make a difference in this horse world? I'm also curious what changes you hope to see in the next 10, 20, or 30 years. Thank you guys so much for watching. This certainly wasn't the video that I had planned for today, but definitely a topic of interest.